Welcome to the InfoGov Hot Seat Vodcast, featuring candid interviews with practitioners, consultants, and solution providers on hot topics in the information governance industry. Here's your host, Jim Merrifield.
Well, hello and welcome to the InfoGov Hot Seat. I'm your host, Jim Merrifield, and with me today is Marla Crawford, General Counsel at Simplify. Welcome, Marla.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the hot seat. I know we met about a month ago at ILTACon. It was great to meet you at Corporate Legal Day, and we're going to get into that information a little later. But let's kick this podcast off and get to know you a little better. Can you tell us a brief introduction of yourself, your current role, and one fun fact about yourself?
Oh, yes. Let's see. Okay, so I am the General Counsel of Simplify. Simplify is a services provider in the legal technology community, e-discovery, managed review, contract analytics. I've had this job almost 4 years now. Before that, I was 22 years at the law firm, 11 years in-house. So I think basically I just deserve this great job now, and I'm having the greatest time. It's been a real pleasure working with the team at Simplify. So my fun fact is going to be related to ILTA. So my fun fact is that I actually love country music. And when I was at ILTA, I went to the Grand Ole Opry 2 nights. Bucket list. Loved it. Standing, screaming, hooting. Loved it.
Awesome. Did you see, so you saw Post Malone?
I did, yes.
And did you see Luke Combs too?
I did. And he's my favorite. On my Spotify, he's my #1 most listened to artist.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I just interviewed, obviously, on the ILTA recap, the CEO from Gilo, and he actually went to both nights as well. Yeah, so you have something in common with some fellow Iltons.
Yeah, I think there were a few of us who really took advantage of the proximity to the Opry, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like country music myself. I took my wife with me down to ILTA. It was her first time in Nashville. We got to go downtown and go to some honky-tonk bars and listen to some live music. So, and we did the tour, the Grand Ole Opry. That was pretty exciting. So that's an awesome fun fact. So awesome. So let's talk about ILTA a little bit. Your key takeaways from Corporate Legal Day. I know we met at Corporate Legal Day for that full day instruction seminar. So what were your key takeaways from that day?
I love those partnerships where a conference partners with another group to create like a smaller space. That's my favorite part of a lot of the different conferences, that sort of synergy together. And I thought for Corporate Legal Day, partnering the corporates in the ILTA conference was really eye-opening. People were talking kind of about two different things. But the one that I'll talk about that relates to the corporate day, as opposed to just general ILTA, was these concepts of career development, mentorship, sponsorship. People are generally self-interested, right? We work to make money to live. And so it was fascinating to see how people were considering their job trajectories, especially with the advent of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, for sure. And you have a great background, as you mentioned in the beginning, right? You were at a law firm, in-house, and now you're on the business partner side. So I think your perspective in that day probably resonated with a lot of people. You're able to make
Yeah, I mean, I've seen now the 3 points of the triangle. And of course, the best thing to do is to collaborate. So when I was at the law firm, it was really when e-discovery was just starting. And there was a lot of collaboration because we as lawyers had no idea what we were doing. And then as e-discovery became more prevalent, it was unfortunate that a lot of the movement there was in, kind of having a place to blame for mistakes. So law firms would blame service providers, and their corporate clients would be confused. And, it really then, I think, moved toward a more consulting paradigm where all three parts of the triangle really need to work together. And I think AI is moving that even further along toward the collaboration. I'm very happy to see that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, what AI can do for e-discovery and document review and contracts and things is pretty amazing. So we'll see. We'll see. It's already making some inroads now, but I'm sure at the next ILTACon, the next Corporate Legal Day, we'll have some more takeaways for sure. So let's talk about ILTACon in general. Was there anything that kind of stuck out for you at the conference itself?
Yeah, people to me were talking about a lot of AI, obviously, but in terms of ethical considerations of AI, in terms of how do you create a safe kind of recurring, repeatable process, maybe some easy wins. How can you show that you're an adopter without taking big risk? And also that kind of leads into the issues of security. The security about your information, about your data, security and privacy issues, using AI. But then, of course, everything in legal technology comes back to security. Because if you don't have that, you can't go to any of the other building blocks. So I thought those were kind of the fundamental issues that were discussed, but everything is interrelated.
Yeah, for sure. There's that term AI governance now that's out there. I know IAPP has been talking about they have an AI governance like certification, and I know obviously ARMA talks about AI governance, and it's affected my life with governance and security. Kind of go and find out how that relates to AI technology with our clients, and I've seen that on a few, I guess, AI questionnaires from clients, right, talking about AI governance. So we'll see how that plays out in the days ahead. There, I guess it's kind of a balancing act there. So speaking about the information governance, I know we have an event coming up, or a webinar coming up, right, in about a month. Do you care to kind of give the audience a preview of that webinar?
Yeah, we're having a webinar. I think it's October. I'm just going to double check my calendar. Is it October 18th? Is that right?
I think so. I put you on the spot, so it's
October 18th at 3:00 Eastern time. We're going to be talking about information governance with you, Julie Heller, Emily Collins, and it's going to be exciting because, sometimes we talk about things as if everybody's already done them, and people are a little embarrassed to say, I really haven't started, or my program's not that great, or I still have like 100,000 boxes in, a repository somewhere in a basement of some building in the middle of our country. So we're going to talk about some, easy wins. What can you do to get started, to maybe get a little bit of control? No shame, no blame, just how do you start your game?
I like it. I like it. It's a judgment-free zone.
Judgment-free zone. Because honestly, I've had clients who are embarrassed to say we don't have a program. And no one should be embarrassed about that. It's a very difficult program to achieve, as you know better than anyone.
Yeah, listen, it was a hot topic 20 years ago, and it's still a hot topic today. So very relevant. Looking forward to that conversation with yourself and the fellow panelists. So that'll be fun. next month. Now, I know, Marla, we talked about a lot here. Is there anything else you wanted to share with the audience before we let you go?
Well, I see you wearing your Jets gear. So I gotta say, Jets.
That's right. That's right. I love it. Yeah. Hopefully Rodgers can play more than 4 plays tonight. That would be really wonderful. I think by the time I release this podcast, it'll either be a W or a big loss. But whether it's a win or a loss, hopefully Rodgers plays the whole game and we have a future.
I hope so. I'm on your team.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, listen, it was great to have you, Marla, spending some time here on the hot seat with me. I look forward to seeing you again at ILTACon, of course, but then I'll see you virtually on the webinar next month. So thanks so much for taking the time with us and giving us your takeaways from Corporate Legal Day and ILTACon. And look forward to collaborating with you. Yeah, that's great. So that's awesome. So listen. Fun. Yeah, it's been great. So, and for our audience, thanks so much for attending today's episode. And if you'd like to be a guest on the InfoGov Hot Seat like Marla here, please submit your information through our website, infogovhotseat.com. And thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the InfoGov Hot Seat. Follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and LinkedIn. Check out our main website at infogovhotseat.com to view our latest episodes and much more.